Back into a day two of the Big Ten Media Days. Mandalay Bay, Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, head coach from Minnesota, PJ Fleck with us. Coach, good to see you again.
Nice to see you, too. Thanks for having us back on the show.
Appreciate
it.
it.
It's a yearly tradition.
It is.
We like it.
Well, it's Nebraska and Minnesota in October. We cover the Big Red, and what a run you have had against Nebraska. A lot of success. Tell me a little bit about what with your culture. I think that's what's been super impressive with your football teams is tight ball games. You guys find a way a lot of years.
Yeah, I think it's all about the fit of the type of players we have. I think that, we do a really good job of recruiting the right fit for us, and I think we develop at a really high level on and off the field. Their lives are really important to them, and then you got to retain them, right? You got to be able to do that, and then you basically repeat. And you do everything you possibly can for that. But, we've broadened our horizons. Minnesota's been really, really good to us over the last 4 years. We're getting the top kids out of the state. But when you look at what we've done with our recruiting base, it's gotten bigger because we're truly looking for this right fit that values all the right things for our program. I can't sit there and say, I like what coaches say, do they value the right things? What's the right things to you, to me? We all have a different opinion of that. But for our program, we look for certain people that value these things in that order, and then we go recruit them for west to east and north to south. And I think we have a really good core nucleus of guys who truly buy into the Row the Boat program and the hyperculture, and it's a lot of fun.
Elijah Herbel, Chris Schmidt, PJ
what do you
Fleck
think you noticed that changed for you between year two? What do you think noticed that you changed between year two and year three? You look back at your tenure starting off at Minnesota. Year one was 5-7. Year two, you make a bowl game, you win that bowl game, and then in year two, things really pop for you. And it's been a steady type of tenure for you there at Minnesota since then. What did you notice that changed before that third season?
I think it's just the authenticity, the consistency, and the ability not to give up on what you're doing when it doesn't go right. Remember, if you look back at my tenure 13 years ago at Western Michigan, we were 1-11, and then we were 1-3. I was on my way out the door, and there was one game we came back from a 20-point deficit and won, and then we won 7 straight. It's the consistency that you keep pouring in, and some teams get there. Some coaches get there. Some teams don't. Some coaches don't. It just happens. But we were willing to stay the course, continue to not let the result dictate like our processes, and we believe so hard in them, and it's so structured that way. Same thing when we got to Minnesota. We're 5-7, and then the second year we hadn't beat Wisconsin in 15 straight years, and it was that last game that got us to 6 wins, and then we won six bowl games since. And it's not giving up on the processes. It's a true belief. It's authentic. It's genuine. It's real. It's real for us, and that's how we've been able to do it.
Few minutes, PJ Fleck with us here on the Average Joe Sports Show. And Coach, when it comes to those close ball games, it's a way of life in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it is.
And tell me how you go about instilling not only that belief, but if it doesn't go your way in a one-score game, the wheels don't come off.
Well, I think it's all about how you handle Sundays when you have your team, whether you win or lose. You can't tell whether we won or lost when you walk in on Sunday afternoon. Like in that meeting, you can't tell whether we won or lost because we're not focusing on the result. We're a process-driven culture and program. So if we want to win one-possession games, then you better be good in 2-minute, and you better be good in 4-minute, and you better be working on those in practice. And your kids need to be really educated about the game of football. You can't be snapping the ball 5 seconds on the clock in a 4-minute drill. You need to snap it with 0.5 seconds left on the clock.
Details.
And trust the guy to do that. You do that 4 plays in a row, that's 20 seconds. But when you look at when we've had really amazing success, whether that was Western Michigan or Minnesota, we won 11 games in 2019, and we were 6-1 in one-possession games. This year we were 8-5, but we were 3-4 in one-possession games. We miss a last-second field goal at North Carolina. We recover an onside kick that we get called offsides against Michigan in field goal range, and then we give up a 4th and 3 against Penn State. You flip those, we're in the playoff. We're a 10-11 win team. We're like another story with Indiana. So the margin for error is so small. And I think this is true for all teams. But the only thing I can control on isn't like, hey, we're going to be good in one-possession games. And I'm going to tell my team, we're going to be good in one-possession games. You can't tell them that means nothing. Like, we're going to be good at ball security. Well, you better be working on ball security.
Sure.
You better be working on the 4-minute, 2-minute, and then educating them. There's times where my job, a lot of it, has gotten farther removed from football, as it's very, very public now, right, with all head coaches. But I still meet with our quarterbacks all the time on situational ball from my standpoint to think like the head coach. That's my job as a head coach, is to make sure that guy and my team think like a head coach when you're talking situational football.
Coach,
Hope that
you
answers your
talk about
question.
kind of that schedule of a college football coach nowadays, how things have changed behind the scenes. And I did see this from Brett McMurphy. I want to get your take on it. With the modern college head coaching schedule, you went and dove into the USGA golf handicap, found you were an 11 handicap. How do you find time for the golf course with the craziness of the modern college coaching schedule?
Natural talent.
I think since January, let's not say that I've been playing a lot. Let's not create an issue here. I think I played 13 to 14 times since January, and a lot is in February on vacation. There's some donor trips. And then, yeah, I do play with my wife. We like to play together. We sometimes do it in July. But I'm athletic enough to hit a golf ball here and there. Even if I'm off the fairway, I still can par. I can hit it on the green and 4-putt. So that's why I'm an 11, because athletically I'm going to get some pars. I might get a birdie or two, but I'm going to get some doubles too. But I love to play. I love the competition. I love being outside, and my wife and I get a chance to play together. So I started putting my indexes in a few years ago when they said you have to have those to get into like certain country. I'm part of one country club, but I had to have this to get into their like member guest. So anyway, that's why I did it. But I'm not shooting 82 every time I go out there. I promise you that.
Someday we'll hit 82, Elijah. Three fellow coaches from the Big Ten you would pick to play a foursome with.
Dan Lanning, because he's a great hang. Matt Rhule, because he's your coach, and I went to the Kenny Chesney concert with him at the Sphere here in Vegas, and unbelievable.
How was that?
He first of all, Kenny Chesney or Matt Rhule, they're both phenomenal.
Yeah.
We threw Dan Mullen in the mix from UNLV. It was an absolute blast. Kenny Chesney puts on one of the greatest shows. He's always been a great entertainer, but you take him and you combine it with the Sphere and that immersive experience. I don't think I even saw Kenny, because you're watching everything else, and he puts on a great show. But I picked Dan Lanning for the hang for sure. Coach Bielema, because he's him and I are pretty close. I like him too. And I'd throw Matt in there. We would just have a great time. Forget about winning the tournament. We would just have maybe the best time out there. So I'd pick those three guys.
Well, Rhule goes from friend to foe on a Friday night in October. Coach, what are you looking for from that game? I mean, Friday night's a little bit different, but the Big Ten's making it normal. What are you expecting from that game, that matchup?
Every time we play Nebraska, you're in for a really physical matchup. I mean, they've always been big and strong and physical, and the strength and conditioning program's always been so good at Nebraska, dating back 50 years ago. I mean, it's one of the most traditional powerhouses in all of college football. We have a ton of respect for what and how Nebraska's always done it. Even my wife just can't get her off this train. Every time I ask her, what's her favorite place to play, she goes, Nebraska, because they're always so nice to us. And I don't ever hear that, right, because I got my headset on, so I don't know who's nice and who's not, except when bottles are coming through the air from other opponents. But what I love about Nebraska and playing Nebraska people is they're really educated about football. They know the game, and I have a lot of respect for that. So we're in for a battle on Friday night. Night games in the Big Ten on Friday. I always create something that's a little unique, especially when it gets down to the wire. But ton of respect for what Matt Rhule has done already at Nebraska and get Nebraska to a bowl game last year. And I know that was our first step, and I know what he wants to do. I know it's not an end game for him at all, and it's going to be a tough matchup. We know that.
Can you spend a moment before we get you out, and it's fun to chat with you again, the new grind with the four West Coast teams. You were able to go 2-0 against the California squads, but it's always been tough in the Big Ten, that war of attrition with the 9 conference games. Just spend a moment just how more difficult it is to live life in the Big Ten.
Well, I think it's the best conference in the country. I really do. And I think everybody's in it. Does the SEC play 8? Does the Big Ten play 9? My only comment on that is if you're going to compare apples, then compare apples. whether it's a Granny Smith apple, whether it's a red apple, whether it's a baby apple, I don't care, but they're apples. You can't compare the apple to the orange or the apple to the banana. Why are we doing that? And I'm focused on the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Like that is real. I think it's the best conference in the country, and we've shown that over the new era and the evolving world of college football with 2 back-to-back national championships. But I like what we do. I love what our commissioner is doing. I love his vision for our conference and what he wants to see the college football playoff like. And look, a team like Minnesota, I'm all for 12, but I'm all for 16 too. The more opportunities Minnesota has to go to the college football playoff, and that can expand for us, I'm all for it because I like the future of Gopher football.
The play-in thing that Commissioner Batiti's talked about is pretty fascinating. I think
How
that's
fun
wild.
is that?
I think that's wild. I think it'd be great.
I mean,
And you
hosting a Minnesota game, right, at home that late in the season, right, in a playoff game atmosphere, how awesome would that be for our fans?
host to be incredible, but also you have a venue here in Vegas you can pick.
Absolutely.
You got Indy. Take on Vegas. My first time here ever in my life has been the last 2 days.
Well, just think 100%. I love Vegas. First, we'll get into Vegas if you want to, but I love Vegas. But think how fun, like when we went from the BCS model to the playoff model.
Right.
And then you had 4, and how exciting that was. Right? You had a little bit of that true NCAA basketball tournament. Then we went to 12, and look what that did. And now we go to 16, and then you add some play-in games. I mean, this is getting really, really fun. And I know it adds a lot of different other aspects. The 9 games, the 8 games. How many games are we asking student athletes to really play? Because they're not considered professionals. No one's told me that. We still run our program like a life program and a developmental college collegiate program. So we're going to keep doing that. And but I know the talk is how many games you're going to have young people play. But I just love the format of what they're doing. I love our commissioner fighting for the Big Ten and talking about what we need. If we are going to compare apples to oranges, then why we need those 4 automatic qualifiers. And I agree with him.
Coach, last thought here before we
Coach,
get you out, I have to ask the question. I'll go back 8 months here. A fun one for you. Did the bowl win change your relationship with mayonnaise at all in your day-to-day life?
100%. Haven't eaten it since. What you don't realize is Duke's mayo is a little bit spicy,
Okay.
right? And so it's got a little, I don't know if it's vinegar or whatever it is, but it's got a certain unique smell that's different than like Hellman's, okay? And you have no idea what it's going to feel like. I've never had it done to me. And I thought maybe the bald head would slide right off instead of like just kind of like a slinky just kept pouring down your face. My wife, Heather, did not hug me for 3 days. It took me probably 12 showers to get that out. And, yeah, I mean, but it was worth the win. I just don't like mayonnaise now.
You want Big Ten Media Days back here in Vegas?
Oh, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite cities. I love coming here. I think it's amazing that people always say, well, I don't like Vegas, or there's nothing to do in Vegas. I don't understand that. No matter what you do and who you are, there is something for everybody in this city. You could literally spend 2 days in a spa and never see outside nor a window and just relax and have a mind, body, spirit relaxation. Who thinks Vegas is that? Some of the world's best restaurants and hotels and shopping, shows, pools. I mean, this place is awesome. We love coming here. We come here quite often. I can't say quite often. We come here a few times a year for about a 24 to 36-hour period.
All right. PJ Fleck with us, head coach, Minnesota Golden Gophers, Nebraska, Minnesota in October. Coach, good to see you again.
I appreciate you
Always
guys having us
appreciate
on.
you.
You bet, Chris. Thanks a lot.